Are you a parent who feels responsible to make your child happy? If yes, then this is for you. I once watched a TED Talk that was really eye-opening, and she explained how having this goal in today's world where you think that your child's happiness is your responsibility is a burden that is not realistic for a parent because, first of all, we all go through all kinds of emotions, and not allowing for sad emotions is already a recipe for misery. We need to have sad moments that are allowed, and even angry moments that are allowed. In order to have real joy in life, we need to open ourselves up to all kinds of challenges and uncomfortable emotions. But even that aside, we cannot control how somebody else feels. And when we take personally if our child is unhappy and we think that that means we are a failure as a parent, that in itself is a recipe for disaster because, first of all, whose child is not often grumpy or having a bad day, especially if they're a teenager? They're going to have their hormones ups and downs. And it's really like they say in Yiddish, if you have that kind of expectation of yourself, like it's almost like you put yourself into a bed to be sick, because it's really not reasonable to put that burden on yourself that your child is always going to be happy. So what is a helpful approach for parents to not take personally when their child is unhappy? First of all, happiness of a child and unhappiness of a child, when it's like a lot of unhappiness, can be a signal for us to look into it and see if there's anything we can do better for the child, because obviously a balance is the golden rule, so to speak, right? But even if a child does have a tendency to be more unhappy than usual, then I mean to say, like, than other kids, if a child is a more serious child, takes things more to heart, is more empathetic and deep feeling, what is your responsibility is when you do what you can, you taking your best next step. It's not about taking responsibility for how your child feels, but what you do about it. In other words, when I stopped focusing on the outcome and started focusing on the input, started focusing what can I do to live with a clear conscience that I'm doing my best day by day to help my child have a better life. And when you don't put the outcome on your responsibility, because the outcome is not even possible for you to control. Your responsibility is only what you put in. That's the only thing that you can control, right? And that way, the child also doesn't have a pressure that they always have to hide their unhappiness, because if we take it personal, then they're always going to have to act as if things that are really bothering them are not bothering them. They won't feel free and open to share when some things need to be changed and made better. We're human. We can mess up, and we're allowed to mess up, and our child should be able to freely share with us when something is bothering them about our actions or about how things are going for them, whatever it is. And when we don't take it personally when they are hurt, and we understand that we are human and we're allowed to make mistakes and learn from them, it really changes the game. So I hope this helps. And I wish you a wonderful rest of the day. And to remember, it's only the input that is your responsibility, not the outcome.